touch this. You better get hype, boy, because you can't touch this. Ring the bell, school's back. Okay, ring the bell. School's back in. We're on SAT Test 9, Section 3, Non-Calculator section. So the first problem today says, for the system of equations above, what is the value of x plus y? So here we're looking to find x and y and then add the two answers. Now I'm looking to see if we can add these two and see if something cancels out. If I add 2x plus x, I get 3x. If I add y, 2y, that's not going to cancel out. So I need to eliminate either x's or y's. So I notice that I have a 2y here, and this is a minus y. So I need to multiply this first equation times 2 so that I could have a minus 2y here. And that'll cancel with the second one. So I'm going to multiply this times 2. So I'm going to have 2x times 2, that's going to be 4x. And then minus y times 2, we said that's a minus 2y. And then that's equal to 8 times 2, which is 16. Okay? And then the second equation, all we're going to do is add x plus 2y, and that's equal to 4. And you notice that the minus 2y and the plus 2y will cancel by elimination. So we now have 5x is equal to 16 plus 4, which is 20. And if you divide by 5, we now have that x equals to 4. Now, if you look at the answers, there's 4 there, but that's not what we're looking for, so it can't be this one. We're looking for x plus y. Maybe it could be this one. We need to find what y is first. So let's take one of the equations there. Maybe you can take this equation, second equation. We have x plus 2y is equal to 4. If x is 4, 4 plus 2y equals 4. That means that 2y has to be 0. So we have 4 plus 0 equals 4. Y is 0. So if y is 0, then 4 plus 0 is 4. So we're going to have 4 plus 0. So the answer was 4. And so go back and check that. And for answer number 1, the answer is B. X plus y is 4. Okay, so problem number 2 says, which of the following is equivalent to the given expression? And they give you the answers there. And you could multiply 2 times this and 2 times that and 3 times this and 3 times that. Actually, what I'm going to do is I notice that the x squared minus x is in both of those. So I could actually factor out the x squared minus x, and it leaves me 2 plus 3, which is 5. So what I have is I have 2 of these here, and I have 3 of these. So if I add 2 of those and 3 of those, that gives me 5 of those. So then I'll look at the answer choices and say, well, is there an answer like what I have? Well, mine's in factored form, so I have to go back and distribute this, 5 times that and 5 times that. So I'm going to have 5x squared minus 5x. And then we'll look at the answer choices. 5x squared minus 5x, the answer was A. So for number 2, answer is A. Okay, so problem number 3, which of the following statements is true about the graph of the equation 2y minus 3x equals negative 4 in the xy plane? So if you look at the answers, they're asking something about slope and the y-intercept. So that right there tells us that we should rewrite this problem in slope-intercept form and see what kind of slope we have and what kind of y-intercept. So we're going to have 2y minus 3x is equal to negative 4. So I'm going to add 3x on both sides. And you now have that 2y is equal to a positive 3x minus 4. And if you divide by 2, you notice that this right here is your slope. So slope is positive. And this right here is your y-intercept, and that's negative. So slope, y-intercept, so we're looking at something positive and then negative. So here, this one is negative, that's wrong, and this is negative, that's wrong. So we're looking for a positive slope, and we're looking for a negative y-intercept. Negative y-intercept, so that has to be answer D for this one. Answer D for number 3. Okay, problem number 4, we have problem that states the front of a roller coaster car is at the bottom of a hill and is 15 feet above ground. So we have to have 15 feet above ground. If the front of the roller coaster car rises at a constant rate of 8 feet per second. So if it rises at a constant rate, that tells me the slope here, m, is going to be 8 feet per second. So we have 8 feet per second. Which of the following equations gives the height, h, in feet, in front of the roller coaster car s seconds after it starts up the hill? So we know that the slope here is 8. So we're looking for something that has a slope of 8. And so we're looking something, so in this case, h is equal to the slope and times s plus the y-intercept. So we know this is 8, so we've got 8 here, and we've got 8 there. And so it can't be that one, and it can't be that one. And so the next thing is, what about the y-intercept? Well, it starts off at 15 feet above ground, so B is 15. And so this is the only one here that has 15 as your y-intercept. And that one's not right, and we already ruled that one out. So in this case, the answer has to be A. H equals 8s plus 15 for number 4. Okay, so problem number 5, the equation above gives the amount C in dollars an electrician charges for a job that takes H hours. So C is in dollars, H is the hours, and then you have plus 125, which is a fixed amount. Miss Sanchez and Mr. Rowland each hired this electrician. The electrician worked 2 hours longer on Miss Sanchez's job than on Mr. Rowland's job. So the only difference here is that 2 hours more. So how much more did the electrician charge Miss Sanchez than Mr. Rowland? Well, she's going to pay more because of the 2 hours more. And you're paying $75 an hour. So I would say 75 times 2 is what? It's 150. So the answer here is exactly $150. Now, it turns out that some students might try numbers, and you can do that if you're having a little trouble with this. You can say, what if this electrician worked 1 hour for Mr. Rowland, so H is 1, and so 2 hours more for Miss Sanchez, that would be 3 hours for her, and then you would subtract the 2, and you notice that the 125s cancel because they're the same on both, and then you would have 75 times 3 minus 75 times 1, which is 75 times 2, and it winds up being $150. Okay, so 150 was the correct answer, and there's a check mark there for, that's the Nike logo. Just do it. Okay, problem number 6, we have a circle above, has a center at O, and the length of arc ADC, which is a minor arc right here, is 5 pi. So right here we've got 5 pi. And x is 100 degrees, so this central angle is 100. Remember that the full circle is 360 as a total. And we want to know the length of arc ABC, which is the other side. So ABC would be all of this here. And if you take 100 off from the 360, then the rest of it is 260. And so we can set up a proportion. We can say then that 100 is proportional to 5 pi, that's the arc length, as, I don't know why I put x here, this should be 5 pi, as what we're looking for the arc ABC, and that represents 260, and that would be proportional to what we're looking for is x. So we can do a little cross product. 100 times x, that would be 100x. And that's equal to 5 pi times 260. 5 times 260 times pi. So your answer will be in terms of pi. And if we multiply 5 times 260, you're going to have 0. 5 times 26 is 130. So that's 1300 pi, and over here you have 100x. And if you divide by 100 on both sides, these cancel out, and these two zeros cancel out, and you're left with 13 pi. So your answer here should be B for number. Okay, problem number 7. We have 8 over x is equal to 160, and we're looking for the value of x. So if we cross multiply here, we're going to have 160x is equal to 8. And if you divide by 160, x is equal to 1 over 20. You can reduce that. 8 goes into 160 20 times. So if you look at the answer choices, there is no 1 over 20. There is a 20, so some students are liable to pick that one. That would be incorrect, because 1 over 20 is actually 0.05. And that's a little bit tricky from the College Board, because this is a non-calculator section. So you're supposed to know how to change 1 over 20 into a decimal. Well, all you have to do is remember that if I gave you a test with 20 problems on it, 20 questions, each one would be worth 5 points. Okay? So that means that 1 out of 20, it would be worth 5 points, 5 out of 100. And so 5 out of 100, that would be 0.05. Okay? So 0.05 was the correct answer. The answer is D in this problem. Okay, problem number 8. We have an equation above. A is a constant, and if no value of x satisfies this, what is the value of a? So in this problem, we're looking for the value of a where there is no value of x. So we're looking for a problem that has no solution. Okay? And it is a linear equation. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to multiply 3x here, 3x plus 3 times 5 is 15, and this would be 5x minus 5, and that is 2ax. So 2ax has to equal to what? 3x plus 5x. So all I'm doing is I'm setting the x's equal to each other, and so if I have 2a is equal to 3 plus 5, so 2a is equal to 8. That means that a has to equal to 4. So a is equal to 4, then the x's will cancel out on both sides, and you wind up with no solution. So if I had 8x plus or minus 15 on the left-hand side, and if I had 8x plus 10 on the right-hand side, or it doesn't matter what these constants are. If we have 8x here and 8x there, those are going to cancel out, and you will have no solution. Okay? So in this problem, the answer was A has to be 4, so that there is no solution. Answer C for number 8. Okay, problem number 9. A system of 3 equations is graphed in the xy plane above. So you have 2 lines and a parabola. How many solutions does the system have? None, 1, 2, or 3. Well, let's see how many times they intersect. Right here they intersected the line and this one, but the other line doesn't. Now, both lines intersect here, and also the parabola intersects here. So all 3 actually meet here at one point. Here you only have 2 meeting here, so that's not going to work. And here only 2 met here. So it looks to me that because of this right here, where the 2 lines and the parabola all meet at this one point, there has to be only one solution. So for number 9, the answer has to be B, one solution. Okay, problem number 10. It says the equation above is true for all values of x where a and b are constants. What is the value of ab, a times b? So A is right here, and B is right here. And so we've got 20, 9, 2, and 12. So we would probably need to multiply this out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use distributive property and multiply the AX times each of those three terms, and I'll write it down here. 5 times AX, we're going to have 5A, and then x times x squared would be x cubed. That's for the first one. That's for this part. And the second part, I'm going to take ax times minus bx is going to be minus ab, and then x times x would be x squared. And then for the last part, I'm taking ax times 4. That would be just 4ax. Okay? And now I need to take the second term, this plus 3, times that one, and then times that one. And then combine like terms. So 3 times 5x squared is going to be 15x squared, and I'm going to write it right here. Okay, because I'm going to combine like terms. X's with x's, x squared with x squared. And then 3 times a minus b, so I'm going to have minus 3 bx, and then 3 times 4 is 12. Now, in this question, we're looking for the value of AB. So I notice that I have an AB here. So all I need to really do is just to focus on this part of the problem, and I don't really have to do all of this other stuff. It is really not necessary. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to rewrite this part of the right-hand side of the equation right underneath this. I'm going to have 12x cubed minus the 9x squared minus the 2x and the plus 12. So this 12 is the same as that 12, and these two, a and b, would have to add up to that. But all I need to focus right here is this part, because I know that the minus ab plus the 15x squared is equal to this negative 9x squared. So the coefficients there have to be combined. 15 minus ab is equal to negative 9. So now I need to solve for AB, because that's what we're looking for. So I'm going to add AB here, and I'm going to add AB here. And then I'm going to add 9 here, and I'm going to add 9 here. And by doing this way, I now have what A times B is. 15 plus 9 is what? 24. So that means that A times B is 24. And in this problem, the answer was C. Okay, this concludes first half of the video, problems 1 through 10 for SAT test number 9, section 3, non-calculator section. If you've already subscribed, thanks for subscribing. If you haven't already, go ahead and subscribe right now. Thanks for watching. Keep learning. Keep plugging away. Thanks.